How do people use resources? Engage your brain. As you read this lesson, look for the answers to the following questions and record it here. What type of resources do you see here? Which type is more easily replaced? Active reading. Lesson vocabulary. List the terms as you read, as you learn about each one. Make notes in the interactive glossary. I want you to pause the video right now and go through the packet and find every word in yellow and write it on these lines. It looks like you should have 7 words. Then when you're done, then come back and unpause the video. Compare and contrast. In this lesson, you'll read about renewable and non-renewable resources. As you read about resources, ask yourself, how are they alike and different? Active readers stay focused on comparisons and contrasts when they ask themselves, how are these things alike? How are they different? Natural resources. Water, wind, sunshine, soil, coal, these may not seem to have much in common. However, they are all natural resources. Every living thing uses natural resources each day. Active reading. As you read these 2 pages, draw boxes around the names of the 2 kinds of resources that are being compared. Wind or moving air is a renewable energy resource. Wind turns this turbine to produce electricity. Did you use water this morning when you brushed your teeth? Did you eat some fruit with your breakfast? If you did, then you used a natural resource. A natural resource is anything useful for necessary for living beings that occurs naturally on Earth. Human beings depend on natural resources all the time. You use many of them without even thinking about it. Scientists classify resources into 2 groups. Renewable resources are resources that nature can replace when they are used. New trees grow to replace trees that get cut down. The water cycle constantly replaces water. Air, plants, animals, wind, and sunlight are other renewable resources. Farmers use natural resources such as soil, air, water, and sunlight to produce food. Know your resources. Identify each resource as renewable or non-renewable, and then explain your answer. Okay, all I want you to do is put renewable or non-renewable. So you have aluminum foil. Is that renewable or non-renewable? You've got corn. Is that renewable or non-renewable? Gasoline, renewable or non-renewable? And sunlight, renewable or non-renewable? Don't do the explain part. Just tell me if it's renewable or non-renewable, okay? All right, non-renewable resources are resources that nature cannot replace after they are used. Someday, they may disappear completely. Minerals and soil are non-renewable resources. If used carefully, soil can last a long time, but if it is destroyed, it cannot be replaced. Fossil fuels are also non-renewable resources. A fossil fuel is energy source formed deep inside the earth from the remains of organisms that lived long ago. Coal, natural gas, and oil are fossil fuels. Most of the energy we use comes from fossil fuels. Fossil fuels power cars and trucks, and they are also burned in many energy stations to produce electricity. Natural resources are used to make products of all sorts. Every product you use started out as a natural resource. Some oil is pumped from deep below the ocean floor. Okay, and we just said that oil is non-renewable. Once it's gone forever. Did I skip a page? Sorry, just looking. Nope, okay. Resources on the move. Where do natural resources come from? Some occur near where you live. Other resources occur in other parts of the world and are transported long distances to get to the places where they are used. Active reading. As you read these pages, find and underline the definitions of import and export. Real quick, I'm going to jump over here to this oil. And it says the United States and many other countries produce oil. Tanker ships and pipelines move oil to places where it is needed. Okay, now I'm going to come right here. Wyoming is tops for coal production. Coal is mainly used to generate electricity. It's got a line and it's pointing to where Wyoming is. Iowa grows about 18% of the corn in the U.S. Corn is now used to make a fossil fuel alternative. Do you remember what that's called? Biofuel. Okay, where's the beef? You can find a lot of it in Texas. 17% of beef cattle in the U.S. are raised here. It's pointing to Texas. Next time you enjoy your favorite rice cereal, think of Arkansas. This is where nearly half of all rice is grown in the U.S. I did not know that. Over here's a legend. Okay, so you can see the symbols: farming, ranching, coal, copper, iron. So just take a few minutes and look at this legend and look throughout the United States and just see how many natural, renewable and non-renewable resources we have and we use. This is interesting. Up here, this is Alaska, and this is Hawaii. Hey, Hawaii. It's funny. Let me ask you a question. Do you find any fishing? This is the fishing one. Any fishing icons in the center of the United States? And if you do or do not, where do you find the fishing? It's so interesting. All right. I'm on page 359. Have you ever visited a farmer's market? Local farmers bring their goods to the market soon after crops are harvested or products are made. Customers come to the market to buy fresh goods that are produced nearby. Goods sold at farmers markets travel only short distances between where they are produced and where they are sold. Most natural resources travel long distances between the places where they occur and the places where they are needed. For example, the United States uses more oil than it produces. The United States must import oil. An import is something brought into a country to be sold or traded. Other countries produce more oil than they use. These countries can sell the extra oil they produce. They export some of it to the United States. An export is something sent out of a country to be sold or traded. Most imported oil arrives in the United States on huge tanker ships. These ships can carry large quantities of the natural resource. When the oil arrives in the United States, it is converted into fuel and other products. These products are carried around the country in pipelines and on trains and tanker trucks. Huge oil tankers move large amounts of oil across long distances. All right, do the math. This graph shows the amount of oil produced in different parts of the world. Each section shows production in one region. Label each section with the correct region or percentage. Okay, so here you got a pie chart, and here you have all the information. So let's do a few together. I look at my chart and I see one extremely large piece of area. If I go up here and look at my information, I see that the Middle East has 30%, and that is the largest number in this graph, in this chart, right? So right here, I'm going to want to write Middle East. So stop right now and write Middle East in this big section. You're going to write this word, Middle East, in this section. The second largest one, piece of the pie, looks like it's right here. And I'm going to say this one is probably North America, 20%. So right here, write North America. Then next, we've got Eurasia, which is former Soviet Union. That's 15%. So this piece looks like it's bigger also. So let's put right here in this one, Eurasia, EURASIA, right here in this spot. Then in these three, they're all the same amount. So you've got 3 10% right here. So you can add them in each one. And the last one is this little piece of the pie, and that's Europe. Europe is 5%, so put Europe in here. So now that I've just told you how to do this, I've given you all the answers, I expect to see all these filled out. If you need to pause it and rewind and go back and listen, then that's what you need to do. But I've just given you the answer to the whole thing, so I expect to see it filled out. All right, alternative energy. Fossil fuels may run out someday. So what energy sources can we rely on in the future? Active reading. As you read these 2 pages, draw a circle around each instance of the 3-word phrase that is the key to understanding in the main idea. Alternative energy sources are renewable. Often, they don't release substances that harm the environment. As our fossil fuel supply decreases, we will need to use more alternative energy sources. Each source has advantages and disadvantages. Some are costly, some are only suited to certain places. As a result, a combination of different energy sources may work best for many places. Geothermal energy. Geothermal energy is heat from inside Earth. In areas that have geysers or volcanoes, hot, molten rock is close to the surface. Geothermal plants can tap into this heat and produce electricity on a large scale. Okay, yesterday we talked about our vocabulary, so there's a little more information on geothermal energy. Hydroelectric energy comes from energy of flowing water. A dam is built across a river to make a reservoir. Water released from this reservoir flows through a hydroelectric energy station. The flowing water spins turbines that are connected to generators that produce electricity. In a single minute, Earth gets enough solar energy to meet the world's yearly energy needs. Wow, what did that just say? In a single minute, Earth gets enough solar energy to meet the world's yearly energy needs. That's incredible. I'm sorry, that's awesome. I had to read that twice. Solar energy stations, such as this one, are built in places with lots of sunlight, such as deserts. Solar energy can be used to heat water or to produce electricity. However, the equipment used to collect solar energy is costly. Wind can be used to generate electricity. Wind farms are built in open, flat places where the land elevation increases slightly over long distances. And wind speeds are high. Wind energy is the fastest growing alternative energy source because it is the least expensive to harness. That means it doesn't hardly cost any money to put up a windmill. That solar panel stuff, that solar energy, that's very, very expensive. These windmills are not. But that's interesting. I can't believe that in a single minute, Earth gets enough solar energy to meet the world's needs. Gosh, that's crazy. Um, Biofuels. Biofuels are fuels that are made from living things, such as corn or sugarcane. They can be used to power vehicles. They can help reduce the harmful emissions from cars, trucks, planes, and other vehicles that use fossil fuels. So, what works for you? In the chart below, decide which alternative energy sources might work in your area. So, think about Temple, Texas. Let's talk about each one and see if it's feasible in Temple, Texas. Geothermal, is it feasible in our area? That means, can we really benefit from it? I would say maybe yes. In fact, I know that we have we have some sort of power plant like out on the loop. Um, and I think that they're using geothermal energy. So I'm going to say yes. Why or why not? Because there's heat all underground. Okay, hydroelectric. Do you think hydroelectric will work in Temple, Texas? Again, I'm going to say yes because we have the Belton Dam right down the street from us. Okay, so when you're why or why not, you can write Belton Dam. Solar energy. Is solar energy good in Temple, Texas? I'm going to say yes because in solar, the sun is always shining in Temple. Wind energy. Is wind energy good in Temple? Um, you can say yes or no. I would say yes because there are areas of Temple that are flat land and no trees, especially in the Rogers area, Academy, Little River, Cameron. All those are just flat lands, flat farmlands, and that could be used to produce energy to Temple. So I'm going to say yes. And then last, biofuel. Is biofuel good, accessible in Temple? Again, yes, because wherever you have flat lands, you also have farmlands, and there's a lot of local farmers that grow corn. A lot of local farmers. Okay, that's why when you go to HEB sometimes, you'll see corn, 5 ears of corn for 25 cents each, and you're like, what? So I'm going to say yes for all these. Okay. Now, again, I've given you all the answers to this, so you just need to really fill it in and you're done. All right, next page. What's that smell? Smoke from resources burned by factories contributes to air pollution. Smog, trash, and dirty water are ways our use of natural resources can harm the environment. Active reading. As you read these pages, draw a circle around the definition of pollution. Cities and homes often draw water from underground. Waste from human activities can pollute underground water resources. Okay, so let's talk about this. So cities and homes draw water from underground. Waste from human activities. That could be your titi and your poo-poo, okay? Or anything else that you flush down the toilet or you flush down the drain at the sink. So a lot of times when we scrape our plates off with food, we do it down the sink and it goes all into that. Okay, so we're actually polluting our water by doing that. And we're polluting our water by peeing and pooping, but I am not going to change. That is how I'm going to forever pee and poop, is in a toilet. So it's kind of gross. Natural resources help people do and make many things, but the use of natural resources can also cause pollution. Pollution is the contamination of air, water, or soil by materials that are harmful to living things. Air, water, and soil are some of the most important natural resources. Most air pollution comes from burning oil, from burning of fossil fuels. Cars and trucks are the greatest source of air pollution, but many factories and energy stations also pollute. Air pollution can harm the health of people, plants, and animals. Water can become polluted when trash, eroded soil, or chemicals from manufacturing, farming, and landfills get into rivers, lakes, and oceans. These pollutants can also enter groundwater. Water pollution harms organisms, including people, that need water to live. Soil can be polluted too. Chemicals leaking from storage sites or runoff from roads and parking lots can soak into soils, making them unusable for growing crops. All right. Write two types of pollution in the effect box, and then in the cause box, explain the cause of each. So write two types of pollution. Okay. So one type of pollution can be what? Air pollution. Okay. So you can, in your cause, you'll write air pollution, and then the effect of it. Oh, I'm sorry. In the effect box, write air pollution, and then what causes the air pollution? The burning of fossil fuels. Okay. So cars and trucks are the greatest source of air pollution. So you can put cars and trucks or burning of fossil fuels, which is right here. Burning of fossil fuels. Okay. And then a second cause and effect would be soil. Soil, so you can write soil here under air. And then your cause is chemicals leaking from storage sites or runoff from roads and parking lots can soak into soils. Okay. So that's kind of long, so you can shorten that up if you want to and put that here in your cause. Using resources at home.
Why it matters. Using resources at home. You use natural resources all day, every day, without even realizing it. When you wake up in the morning, what do? You may eat breakfast, brush your teeth, and listen to the radio. Each of these activities uses natural resources. The food that you eat and the water you use are renewable resources. Your radio uses electricity that may have been generated from the non-renewable resource, coal. The metals, plastics, and other materials the radio is made of also come from non-renewable resources. People do not use most natural resources in their original form. Although you can eat some fruits and vegetables just as they are picked, most foods are cooked. Every product you use was made from one or more natural resources. For example, the paper you use to print your homework probably comes from trees. What about the plastic fork you used to eat lunch? Plastic can be made from oil. How many ways can you find resources being used in this home? Water-saving products, such as a drip irrigation system, can help your family use less water. A computer runs on electricity. Electrical energy is often generated in energy stations by the burning of coal. The computer itself is made of minerals and plastic. In the bathroom, you use water to keep clean. You also use electricity to run appliances. Name that resource. Pick a room in your home. Describe how natural resources are used in that room.
Okay, so right here, I want you to just pick, this is something for fun, okay? Pick something in your room or in your bedroom or your favorite room in your house. Maybe it's your living room. And just describe something that's using natural resource. If you're not 100% sure, here's some rooms for you. You got a bathroom, you got a living room, you've got the laundry room, okay? So just pick a room in your house and one thing that's using natural resources. All right, let's sum it up. Read the summary statements, then draw a line to match each statement with the appropriate picture. Number 1, renewable resources are resources that nature can replace after they are used. Okay, so draw a line to that one. Let's see. So you're going to want to draw a line from here to the farm. And then, so renewable resources are resources that nature can replace. Okay, so the farm, yeah. Oh, I guess the farm, you've got maybe chicken eggs. That's why the chickens are here. Okay, because they're always producing eggs. Number 2, some renewable resources that can be used to generate electrical power. So we can definitely say that would be the wind. Okay, the windmills can use to generate electrical energy. So draw a line there. Number 3, natural resources can be imported and exported through the world. That line you're going to draw right here to the ship, because we read about how they exporting is sending out goods from the United States to other countries, and importing is whenever we receive goods from other countries. So let me ask you a quick question. If you buy something off Amazon and it's being shipped from China, then will it be an import or an export? An import, correct. It's importing from China. It's coming to you, okay? And then 4, pollution occurs when waste and chemicals harm land, air, and water. Oh, that's so sad. So draw a line to there. All right, fill in the Venn diagram by writing the correct number of each item in the appropriate category. All right, renewable resources, non-renewable resources, or both. So let's do number 5, natural resources. Are they renewable or non-renewable? Number 6, solar energy. Is it renewable, non-renewable, or both? Number 7, water. Is it renewable, non-renewable, or both? 8, soil. Is it renewable, non-renewable, or both? Remember, you're just writing the number. You don't have to write the word. Number 9, fossil fuels. Renewable, non-renewable, or both? Number 10, renewable, non-renewable, or both? 11, plants. Renewable, non-renewable, or both? Okay, when you're done, check your answers down here at the bottom. All right, wordplay. Let's see how difficult this is. Use the words in the box to complete each sentence, then unscramble the circled letters to solve the riddle at the bottom. Okay. Renewable resources include air, water, sunlight, and 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 blanks. So we're probably looking for a word with 4 words. Food has 4 words. Wind has 4 words. So it comes down to air, water, sunlight, and wind. W-I-N-D. So write that in there. Number 2, minerals are a blank resource because minerals cannot be replaced after they are used. So if they cannot be replaced, then they are non-renewable. So write this word right here. Number 3, blank used on farms can pollute lakes and rivers? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We could try chemicals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So chemicals will fit in there. So chemicals used on farms can pollute lakes and rivers. Do you agree with that? Yes, me too. All right, number 4. A natural blank is something useful to living things that occurs naturally on Earth. So a natural blank is something useful to living things that occurs naturally on Earth. I'm going to say it's probably resource, but let's just make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So resource. Number 4 is resource. Some turbines use blank to generate electrical energy. Oh, I think we have a problem here, folks. I think wind goes here. Therefore, food probably goes here. So number 1 needs to be food. Sorry about that. And number 5 needs to be wind. So if you have to erase, sorry, my bad. Number 6, renewable resources can be blank by nature. So renewable resources can be blank by nature. We should have replaced left, and we should have pollution left, and we should have landfills left. So I'm going to say it's probably replaced. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Renewable resources can be replaced by nature. Number 7. Smog is a form of air blank caused by burning of fossil fuels. Well, that should be pollution. And number 8, much of the trash that humans generate ends up in landfills. Now, here's the riddle. What do dinosaurs use to run their cars? So you're going to take these bubbles, the word that you have in these bubbles, okay? Or the letters, I mean. So this one would be food. So we're going to have an F, and you write it here in the first blank, F. And then O should be here. So you're going to write it here. And so on, okay? On number 2, it says circle the renewable resource. Just circle the resources that are renewable. Number 3, identify and list the sources of 5 alternative energy resources. So here you're going to list your 5. You've got, if you're not sure, look at the vocabulary we did yesterday. What are some, you're listing 5 renewable alternative energy, like sun, wind, okay? List 5 of them. Number 4, explain why people are researching ways to use biofuels made from plants to power cars. Why are people wanting to use corn to power cars? So write that here. And number 5, draw a picture that shows land, air, or water pollution and label the source of the pollution. So if you had air pollution, what kind of picture could you draw? Okay, and that's it. I've now given you the answers to almost every single thing in this packet. You've got no reason to not get it done.